5,000 people who understand that today in our resource-constrained world we need value creation in a sustainable manner. And they have to be conscious individual leaders. It would have been a huge achievement. You heard in the introduction that our first colloquium was held national connections. We sent 2 million memoranda to 2 million members of, inter alia, 13 of the world's great institutions. And I like to believe that it had some influence because it was sent out 2 months ago. But 6 weeks ago, the Business Roundtable of America said, having spent the whole of the 20th century based on the primacy of the shareholder, said, we can no longer rely on the primacy of the shareholder. We have to give parity of thinking to all the stakeholders. In 1992, I was asked inter alia by Mr. Mandela to form a committee to write guidelines for the majority of my fellow citizens who have not been in the mainstream of the economy because of the apartheid legislation, unequal opportunity, suddenly going into a country of equal opportunity, but no guidelines on how to direct or how to manage. I had a committee which was very reflective of our inclination. At that time, the paradigm was directors should act in the best interest of the shareholders. The principle being a financial capital model. You build wealth at the top and it trickles down to the impoverished at the bottom. The wealth stuck, it became treacle, it didn't trickle. And as we know, in 2008 it exploded. And today we have inclusive capitalism, which means that the business model of the company should be such that the leaders, conscious leaders, steer the business of the company to be at the junction of the economy, society, and the environment. Because if you get that right, it's in the best long-term interest of all the stakeholders. If you have a more positive impact on the environment and society, it is better than what we did through the 20th century, corporate social investment. Build a school over there. Doesn't add anything. USA, slipping through the fingers of corrupt people. It didn't help either. But improved the quality of life of people. That adds to the value of society. We had the first industrial revolution which started pollution. The second industrial revolution was the constant flow of energy, electricity, not so constant here, but in those days, constant flow of energy. That resulted in the Ford Motor Company having one single assembly line. And in 1919, the Ford Motor Company made excessive profit, 65 million rand. Henry Ford said, I want to increase the wages of my employees. Minority shareholders said, no, the shareholder is the primary stakeholder. You must first declare it as a dividend to the shareholders. And the court upheld that. By 1970, there was a Milton Friedman doctrine that the sole purpose of the company was to make profit without any consideration for society and the environment, Mr. Friedman. His answer had to be yes, because we know that the 20th century was a century of unsustainable development. We had the third industrial revolution of the 70s, the computer age, which expedited research. That expedited research showed that suddenly the makeup of the market capitalization of companies around the world, what were additives in a balance sheet according to financial reporting standards, was no longer making up the majority of the value. That's the slide which is on the screen. Expedited research showed by 1997, have a look, in 1975, 83% were additives in a balance sheet according to financial reporting standards. It moved to 68%. Then it moved to 32%. Then it moved to 20%. 16%, and the latest figures are showing 14%. Hence my last book, The Auditor Quo Vadis. If the external auditor is going to focus only on the financial, we've got a problem. And that's why, in the very first colloquium, the first talk was, how should young accountants be taught? At the National University in Melbourne, compulsory subjects are music and art, because they want accountants to start thinking laterally. Because a lot of the work accountants do today is being done by blockchain, AI, IoT. They have to change their thinking. And we have to change the way young people are taught. So, in 2015, South Africa was one of the governments that agreed to the Sustainable Development Goals. But the context of being a conscious corporate leader depends on the times we live in. During the 20th century, the successful corporate leader was the one who led his or her company to have increased profit, increased share price, and increased dividend. Those are the three criteria, no matter how you got there. Today it's changed. Today the critical question that is asked is, how has the company made its money? If the company has made its money with such an adverse impact on the environment that holistically it's actually destroying value, then it's of no use to society. And the company was created by society for society in the middle of the 19th century. So, CSR and CSI are actually yesterday's concepts. The modern thing of integrated thinking and integrated reporting is in the business model of the brewer of beer, for example. Those conscious corporate leaders will build into the business model how they're going to conserve water. It's part of the strategy of the business. It's no longer something an add-on on the side. This is why integrated thinking is changing the mindsets of companies around the world. And I do travel the world as Chairman Emeritus of the International Integrated Reporting Council. Last week I was in Italy and I opened in Milan the Italian Center for Integrated Thinking and Integrated Reporting. A change of mindset in Italy. A change of mindset in the realization that Carol's continue thinking in silos, human resources one silo, financial capital in another silo. All these things are absolutely integrated 24/7, including the relationship between the company and the stakeholders. It's a symphony of relationships and the resources used by the company. So value today is seen through a sustainable lens, and the conscious corporate leader will steer his or her company to be at the junction of the three critical dimensions stated by the Sustainable Development Goals for sustainable development, namely the economy, society, and the environment. And Sustainable Development Goal 17 is collaboration. You heard Mr. Naka mention collaboration. If we do not collaborate now, today, we will not have a sustainable planet by the end of the century. Professor Harari, in his book Sapiens, asked the question, why is it that Homo sapiens outpopulated, outlived and outwitted the other hominids on the planet Earth? And he came to the conclusion it was collaboration. We were able to collaborate and talk, to communicate. Today we need that collaboration to save humankind. Because we are in a situation where natural assets are still being used faster than nature is regenerating them. We are continuing in corporate terms to eat into shareholder funds. If you think you can carry on business as usual, welcome to the age of stupidity. Think about it. So, we have to change, and human resource has to be absolutely fearless in this regard. Fearless to make sure the right people are in the right jobs. that there is this integrated thinking in the C-suite. One thing I find as an advisor to companies is that the accountant is the guardian of this value creation process. But human resource plays a critical role in sitting in that C-suite, in developing that integrated thinking. And today, governance also has become mindful and outcomes-based. In making a business judgment call, the collective mind of a board should ask the question, will this be seen as creating value but in a sustainable manner? It's no good creating value at a cost to society or the environment. That's not being a conscious corporate leader. Have we got adequate and effective controls in this company with informed oversight of the board? So when management presents a proposal, the board is informed and can question what management proposes. The third thing, is there trust and confidence in that company, in the community in which the company operates? The fourth thing is there legitimacy of operations? Now those are outcomes where up until 2017, as you all know, governance, mindless tick box approach to governance and a grudge compliance. Today it's mindful. You have to apply your mind to the business judgment calls to which you all become a party in the integrated world in which we live in. So you will know that Mrs. Brundtland in 1987 said that conscious leaders need to ensure that they leave planet Earth at least in the condition in which they found it, not in a worse condition. Today, we have worsened the condition of planet Earth. You and I, we have. And it's not only a moral duty. I go further. I say it's a betrayal of trust. I charge all of you. Kiss your child goodbye in the morning and go to your job and carry on business as usual and let there be adverse consequences to society and the environment, and holistically you're not creating value. You are betraying trust. Those children will become the elders of tomorrow. Those elders will sit in judgment of you. Do not let them judge you as being someone that didn't think. Do not let them judge you as being a person thinking it's tomorrow's problem. It's today's problem. Now, the question is, what are you going to do about it as a conscious corporate leader? And in your profession of human resources, absolutely critical. So, let me conclude by saying this. You need to say to yourself, and you can say it now to yourself, not in my name will I let this happen. Thank you very much.
Professor, can you stand up with me 2 seconds? We've got some questions for you quickly from the audience that has come in. And I think they are valuable questions. I think the one question here that stands out for me, you can answer that, is will HR standards become part of King Report in the future?
HR standards are already part of the King Report.
That's a yes. Africa, third world and the periphery, how do we play or influence the direction of profit margins and technological usage?
Well, profit, to think of profit as a margin in isolation is yesterday's thinking. Because profit, in December 2016, I spoke in London to 153 of the world's great asset owners and asset managers. Behind me on the stage, the word profit-ridden peer, value creation appeared. One of those there was Larry Fink, BlackRock. Not one person spoke of profit. They spoke of value creation. Are we creating value in a sustainable manner? That is the critical issue. Whether you're in Africa or wherever you are. And it's absolutely, in my view, more critical in a developing economy that we do that, because there is added value to the community much more than CSR and CSI thought of in a silo instead of incorporating it into the business strategy.
Thank you. One more. How do we deal with the emergent unilateralism and push convergence with approaches you assert?
That question.
How do we deal with the emergent unilateralism and push convergence with approaches you assert?
Well, I'm not sure I understand the question, but if you're thinking of universalism being nationalism, well, I think that's going to fail. Because as I've said to you, have completely changed the business model. To me, one of the most significant things is what happened 6 weeks ago with the Business Roundtable in America, where they said we're going to be parity of thinking to all the stakeholders. It was the first time for over 100 years where they've been focused on the primacy of the shareholder. So I think collaboration is going to save humankind, hopefully.
Final question. Can it be that HR's influence in business be consistently questioned? Transformation cannot happen with dead ducks in the house. I think the question is, can it be that HR's influence in business be consistently questioned?
Well, I think transformation is, HR of course is responsible, but HR is a critical issue in South Africa. If you imagine a company and draw a circle around the directors think they don't do what management does. Then you've got management. Well, if those directors are not thinking of a business model which is transformative, then that business is going to fail. Because you've got to make a collective business judgment call in the context in which the company is operating. And of course it's operating in the context of a country where we need transformation desperately.
Well, finally, I've got an anonymous person saying here, an amazing presentation by Professor Mervyn King.